Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Bronwyn Liber, and with me tonight are wrestling co-presidents Maxwell Klingensmith and Logan Newel. Thank you both for joining me tonight. Why don't we just get right into this interview? So first, what does a typical week look for y'all with practices, tournaments, team bonding?
So in a general week, we have 3 practices on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Each of those practices run a little differently. On Mondays, we generally stay a little slower, looking towards technique. Apprehended the name Move Monday recently.
Nice.
We just go slow. We're looking at technique. We have 2 groups, one for our newer wrestlers and one for our more experienced wrestlers, so everybody is getting something out of the practice regardless of their skill level. Wednesdays, we usually take what we've done on Monday and push it up the pace a little bit, a little more drilling with some of the stuff we've learned, moving into a little bit of live and higher pace stuff. And then on Wednesdays, we call it Fun Friday. We're trying to just get people into the room, have some fun, and then get them out of there so they can get on with their day. Generally, we'll go in, warm up, wrestle a little bit, play some games, so everyone gets a good sweat, and then head everyone home.
Yeah, we're only permitted 3 practices a week by the school, but it's a hard sport, requires a lot of work, so we encourage individual workouts like running, lifting, by yourself or with other teammates sometimes, so yeah.
Very fun. You mentioned training. Speaking on training, what kind of styles of wrestling do you guys typically format on and train on?
So we focus on collegiate folk style. That's what the NCAA does, so that's what NCWA does. There's a lot of other styles like freestyle, Greco-Roman, and we have a lot of other guys that come in like jiu-jitsu backgrounds, kickboxing backgrounds. But yeah, we're collegiate folk style, and that's what we do.
Very cool. What are you guys doing to prepare for this season in particular, looking at past seasons, going forward into this one, and what values are you really circling in on as a team, such as discipline?
So last year, the biggest thing we realized that we were lacking in was our cardio. We felt that our guys, especially as we got towards the postseason, had all the wrestling skills necessary to win matches. We were just finding that we didn't have the cardio necessary. So this year, we're really ramping that up a lot, trying to get our wrestlers into better shape. So when we come to the postseason, everyone's ready for those long matches, those overtime matches. With the values you mentioned, we're really focusing on hard work, right? With wrestling, it's a great example of how hard work pays off. To succeed in the sport, you really have to put in the work, the hours, the practices, even if nobody's around and looking outside of practice, everything like that. And it makes you learn a lot because you have to learn that with the hard work, you're going to succeed. And you can then push that towards different aspects of your life, school, other clubs, your job, really anything, and benefits you in the future.
I can definitely respect that. From what I've seen, wrestling really seems like the type of sport where it's whoever shows up to the mat that kind of day. It's not who's ranked highest, it's who wants at the end of the day, who's put in the work behind the scenes, and that's amazing that y'all really focus on that. Moving on, you guys are both the co-presidents for this amazing club. What are you guys really working on to be leaders for this program, on the mats, off the mats, behind the scenes? What are you kind of doing?
So it's beginning of the year right now, so we're trying to get everything in with the school, everything completed with everyone else in the club.
Yeah.
We're communicating with other schools about competitions, other meets and stuff, dual tournaments, regular dual meets. But yeah, we're doing that, and we're trying to get as many people in there as possible, regardless of experience, background, gender even. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but we love it.
All right, I want to hear this from both of y'all. If you could play any school or go against any school for a matchup tournament, who would you want it to be? Putting you on the spot here.
Any club team?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm thinking, does Ohio State have a club team?
They might.
Well, I mean, if they do, it's Ohio State.
Yeah, I love a good little Big Ten rivalry.
Yeah.
Ohio State or Iowa, probably, for me.
Oh, yeah, Iowa's also incredible. Okay, and then finally, being a club sport, everyone is coming from different backgrounds. I know both of y'all came from very different backgrounds. What would you tell to either viewers maybe who have never wrestled before or even people with wrestling backgrounds, like what they can do to join the club or just what you do to grow a team like that?
So wrestling really is an amazing connector. In high school, for example, you're going to meet people at different tournaments and you're going to run into them everywhere. And then once we're here at our club practices, you see the same wrestlers every week at the practices, putting the work in with you. And that really just helps you grow a bond with each other. Me and Max didn't know each other 13 months ago. We met last year through the club, and we wrestled together and became friends because of the work we were putting in the room. And we were really pushing that experience to as many people as possible, regardless of experience, and just getting people into the room.
Do you feel like wrestling has helped y'all with time management by any means, or helped you with any other life skills?
Absolutely, especially now that we have a lot bigger role in the club. We have to be there every single day. We're also trying to get everyone else to work on their time management as well, so that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, it's a lot of time goes into the sport, so as long as you're doing it correctly, I mean,
yeah,
you get it done.
And I mean, when you're putting in the hard work in the room, in the wrestling room, it's a lot easier to leave a practice and go home and do the assignments you need to get done, or cook the meal you need to cook so you can be eating healthy and do everything else to succeed. And it's really just pushes you towards success. That's
incredible. I know I definitely need to work on my time management, so the fact that you guys are able to balance all of that is just truly, like, really amazing and incredible. And then, honestly, like, you guys have been here, you've obviously worked your way up. What is your favorite memory from Penn State Club Wrestling? If you have one.
I think just in general, the tournaments we went to last year, we went to a variety of places all across this nation for nationals, and then different across Pennsylvania for our competitions through the season. And those tournaments are all just such a blast. Whether we're just going for the day, maybe we're waking up in an early morning to go to a tournament, or we're driving down early or late that night before, staying in a hotel. It's those experiences you have with the people you're putting the work in with already. It's just a ton of fun to be in that aspect, and then the matches and stuff are even more enjoyable because you're with the people you're working with, and it's just an enjoyable experience.
That's got to be very rewarding. I'm glad y'all have gotten to succeed in it, and honestly, I'm going to have to come out to a match this year, but I think that's everything I have for today, so thank you both so much for coming in tonight and joining us here and telling us more about the wrestling program in general. Make sure to stick around, because coming up next, Caitlin and Ryan will have the latest news from across the nation.